Till now we studied about cables with ends at the same levels. That is, in those derivations and numericals, the ends of the cables were at the same level. Now, as you can see in this diagram, the ends of the cable A and B are not at the same level. So now we will see that how do we analyze such types of cables where the supports of the cables are at different levels. Suppose the deepest point of the cable is C point. The distance of A support from the C point is suppose L1. The distance of B support from the C point is L2, the horizontal distance. Suppose the vertical distance of A support from the level of C is H1, and suppose the height of B support from the C point is H2. Now we will derive various equations like what will be the profile of the cable, what will be the length of the cable. So we will see these things in this derivation. Forget about this dotted part here, A dash A, forget about this part for now. Forget about this B dash point, forget about this D point. First we will see that what will be the profile of the cable when it is subjected to a UDL, and of course the supports are at different levels. So for this we will now take a section D. So we have taken a section D from point C at a distance of x. Now this part of the cable CD. Now we will draw the equilibrium, the free body diagram of this CD part here. So this is your CD part. See, at D point we know that in a cable no bending moment and shear force are produced. Only tensile force is produced, only tension is produced in a cable. So when we cut a section at D point, there will be only one force, that is your tension. So suppose this tension is making an angle of theta with the horizontal. This inclined force T will have two components. One will be your horizontal component and one will be your vertical component. So the component along theta will be T cos theta and the vertical component will be T sin theta. Similarly, at point C, C is your deepest point. At point C, there is no tensile force. And see, we know that in a cable, no bending moment and shear force are produced. Therefore, there will be no vertical force at C. But there will be only one force, that is your horizontal thrust. One more load is acting here, and that is your UDL, which is acting in the downward direction, and the length of this UDL is x. In this diagram, first of all, we will take summation H equal to 0, summation of all the horizontal forces acting in this element as 0. See, in this diagram, you can see that there are only two horizontal forces. One is T cos theta and one is H, capital H. So total rightward force is equal to total leftward force. Total rightward is T cos theta, total leftward is H. So T cos theta equal to H. Now we will apply summation of all the vertical forces is equal to 0. So total upward force is equal to total downward force. So in this diagram, you can see that total upward force is T sine theta. So this force is acting in the upward direction. So T sine theta, this equal to total downward force. So this equal to total downward force, and the downward force is this UDL, which is acting in the downward direction. So the UDL can be converted into a point load by multiplying it with the length of the UDL. Therefore, T sine theta will be equal to W into X. Now dividing equation 2 by equation number 1, we will get T sine theta upon T cos theta equal to Wx by H. Sine theta by cos theta, we know that it is tan theta. Tan theta is also slope, and slope can also be written as dy by dx. So we can write tan theta equal to dy by dx, and this will be equal to Wx by capital H. So from here we can find out the equation of y by integrating dy by dx. See, we know the equation of dy by dx. So if we integrate dy by dx, we will get the equation of y. And after integration, see, when we will see in this equation, w by h is your constant. So when we will integrate x, we will get x square by 2 plus a constant. Suppose the constant is c1. So y equal to wx square by 2h plus c1. Now we have taken C point as the origin point. Suppose C point is the origin point. So at C, x will be equal to 0 and y will also be equal to 0. So in this equation, y equal to wx square upon 2h plus c1, we will put y and x as 0. After putting the values, we will get c1 equal to 0. And when we will put the value of c1 equal to 0 in back to this equation, we will get w equal to wx square upon 2h. So from here, the equation w will be equal to w upon 2h into x square. If we will see that if we see that in this equation, w upon 2h is a constant. So I can write this w upon 2h as small a. Small a is your constant. So I will get the equation as w equal to ax square, which is the equation of a parabola, which means that whenever a UDL is applied on a cable, even its supports are at different levels, the profile of the cable will be a parabola. Therefore, the cable is having a parabolic shape. C. Now at point A, we have taken the C point as origin. So at point A, x will be L1, and that is the distance of A point from the origin. It is x will be L1, and y is the vertical distance of A support from the C point. So y will be h1. And similarly, for B point, the horizontal distance, that is x will be L2, and the vertical distance from the origin, that is C point, will be y equal to h2. So therefore, now at point A, y equal to h1, x equal to L1. Therefore, after putting these values in equation number 3, we will get h1 equal to WL1 square upon 2h. And at point B, we know that y equal to h2 and x equal to L2. After putting these values in equation number 3, we will get h2 equal to WL2 whole square upon 2h. So we have got these two equations, 4 and 5. Now coming to the next part. Now we will divide equation number 4 by equation number 5. We will get this equation. Now taking square root both the sides, we will get under root h1 upon under root h2. This equal to square root of L1 square is L1 and square root of L2 square is L2. So L1 upon L2. So from here I can find out the ratio of L1 upon under root h1. See, if I bring under root h1 here and L2 here, I will get this equation. So these two values, these two ratios are for 2 points. And if I want to apply these two equations for the whole arch, I will get this equation. So I can also write these ratios equal to L1 plus L2 divided by under root h1 plus under root h2. So now we have got these three equations, this L1 upon under root h1, L2 upon under root h2, and L upon under root h1 plus under root h2. L1 plus L2 is your L. So I can write L1 plus L2 as L. Now we will put these two equations as equal. After putting these two equations as equal, I will get the value of small l1, which will come out to be this L under root h1 upon under root h1 plus under root h2. And then we will take these two equations. Just wait. And then we will take these two equations, and after putting these two terms equal, I will get the value of L2, that is small l under root h2 upon under root h1 plus under root h2. And therefore, by using these two formulae, I can find out the values of L1 and L2. Now we want to find out the value of the horizontal thrust, that what will be the value of the horizontal thrust. In order to find out the value of capital H, I have minimized these two pages in one page. So because we will now be using this diagram in order to find the value of capital H, this and this diagram. So see, so first of all, let's come to this diagram. Now in this diagram, we will apply summation of the moment at C point equal to 0. See, we are putting the moment at C point equal to 0 because we know that the cable is flexible and the bending moment at any section in a cable is 0. So therefore we can take the moment at C point equal to 0. So now in order to find the moment of C point equal to 0, either we can take the left part of the C point or we can take the right part of the C point. So first we will take the left part of the C point. See, in order to write the bending equations, we will use some of the sign conventions. So the sign convention which I will be using is the sagging bending moment is positive. So I will take this type of bending moment as a negative, and the hogging bending moment is negative. So this type of bending moment I will take as negative. So this is your section. This is your section. See. Now we are taking summation MC equal to 0. So first we are taking the left part. So in the left part we have three forces. One is VA, one is capital H, and one is the UDL. So first we will see VA. See, VA is acting in the upward direction. So VA will produce a clockwise movement about C point. See, we have taken the left part. If the left part of the section is clockwise, if the left movement of the section is clockwise, the bending moment is positive. So plus VA into perpendicular distance of VA from C is L1. So VA into L1. Second force is H. So H will produce uh, an anti-clockwise bending moment about the C point, and if the left moment is anti-clockwise, bending moment is negative. So minus H, and the perpendicular distance of line of action of capital H from the C point is small h1. So minus H into h1. Now the third force is this UDL, and this UDL is also acting in the downward direction. So this UDL will produce an anti-clockwise movement about the C point. If the left movement is anti-clockwise, the bending moment is negative. So minus. First convert this UDL into point load. So W into the length is L1. So W into L1, and this UDL will act at center of L1, that is L1 by 2. So the perpendicular distance of this point load from this C point will be L1 by 2. So I can write it as minus W L1 into perpendicular distances L1 by 2, this equal to 0. So from this equation, the value of VA will come out to be this. I have taken it as equation number 6. Now we will take the right portion of the C part. When we will take the right part of the C point, see, there are also three forces VB, H and W. The same way we found out the equation of movement for the left part, the same way we will find out the equation of movement for the right part also. Same sign convention. Now we will see this sign convention. If the right movement is anti-clockwise, bending moment is positive, and if the right movement is clockwise, the bending moment is negative. By using these sign convention, we will get this equation. I will explain you this term also. See, VB is acting in the upward direction, so VB will take C point in this direction. That is your anti-clockwise direction. If the right movement is anti-clockwise, bending moment is positive. So plus VB into perpendicular distance is L2. Perpendicular distance of VB from C point is L2. So plus VB into L2. Second force is H. So H will take C point in the clockwise direction. So if the right movement is clockwise, bending moment is negative. So minus capital H into perpendicular distance of the line of action of capital H from the C point is H2. So minus H into H2. Third force is your UDL, which is acting in the downward direction. So UDL will also produce a clockwise bending moment about the C point. So if the clockwise bending moment is if the right movement is clockwise, bending moment is negative. So minus W into L2. First convert UDL into point load. So W into L2, and this UDL will act at the center of the UDL, that is L2 by 2. So WL2 square by 2. So we will get the equation of sorry, this is the equation of VB. You can correct, this is VB. So we will get the equation of VB as this. Now adding these two terms, we will get VA plus VB equal to this. Just wait. So we will get VA plus VB equal to this. We also know that if I apply summation of all the vertical forces in this cable, I will get VA plus VB equal to W into L. How? See, summation of all the vertical forces means all the upward force is equal to all the downward force. So in this diagram you can see that there are two upward forces VA and VB. So VA plus VB equal to total downward forces W, and converting this UDL into point load, so multiplying the UDL into the length, so you will get W into L. So total downward load is W into L and total upward load is VA plus VB. So we will get the equation as VA plus VB equal to WL. Now VA plus VB equal to this and VA plus VB equal to this also. So if the left part of these two equations are similar, we can also put the right part of these two equations as similar. So we will now put these two terms equal. After putting these two terms equal, I will get this equation WL by 2 into this. So the equation which we got above, by rearranging, I will get the equation of capital H. So capital H will be equal to WL by 2 H1 by L1 plus H2 by L2. Now putting the values of L1 and L2, after putting the values and rearranging it and solving it, we will get the value of horizontal thrust, which will come out to be WL square by 2 bracket H under root H1 plus under root H2 whole square. Now in the next lecture we will see that how do we find out the length of the cable when the supports are at different levels.